Hi everyone, please like, subscribe, and share our story to help us grow our community. Thanks. Now, let's begin with the story. Zara's worn-out shoes scraped against the gravel as she stood frozen in front of the house she had once called home. The cold Atlanta night bit at her skin, but it was nothing compared to the chill in her heart. Her small duffel bag clutched tightly to her chest felt like a weight she could barely lift, full of all she owned, and all she had left: two faded dresses, her Bible with curling pages, a journal full of prayers, and a photo of her mother. Gladys, her stepmother, leaned against the doorway like a queen judging a pauper. Gold bangles jingled as she crossed her arms. "Get out," she snapped. "You're 18. You have nothing, and I have no use for baggage. Take your sad little bag and go rot somewhere else. I don't want to see you again." Zara's throat tightened. Pride battled fear. She refused to cry in front of Gladys. Instead, she whispered softly, "Lord, give me strength." Gladys scoffed, her voice sharp as glass. "Strength? Honey, the only thing you'll get is hunger and cold." Then the door slammed behind her, leaving Zara alone in the chill of the Atlanta night. Her life had been marked by loss. Her father died in a car accident when she was 12, leaving her mother to raise her alone. A year later, her mother succumbed to illness. With no relatives willing to take her in, Zara was placed under Gladys' care. The woman had always resented her, treating her as an intruder in a life she did not want to share. Now, at 18, Zara was an orphan, standing on the threshold of a city that seemed determined to break her. Zara hugged her bag tighter. Her worn-out shoes pinched her feet, but she kept walking, whispering prayers as she navigated the empty streets. "Lord, guide my steps. Don't leave me alone." Hours passed. Her stomach growled. She had no money, no plan. Exhaustion threatened to claim her. Finally, she sank onto a bench at a bus stop, clutching her bag as if it were a lifeboat. She closed her eyes and whispered to her mother's spirit, "Mama, if you can see me, help me. I don't know where I'm going." Then she started sobbing and remembering how life was simple and beautiful with her mother. Then she noticed a sleek black Cadillac rolled to a stop beside her, its headlights bathing her in warm light. Out stepped a man whose presence seemed to make the air itself warmer. Tall, broad, impossibly handsome, he looked as if God had sculpted him on the seventh day and smiled at his work. "Miss, are you all right?" His voice was calm, steady, comforting, like a hymn sung in a quiet church. Zara blinked. She didn't know what to say. Men like him didn't stop for girls like her. I'm fine," she whispered, though her heart pounded. He looked at her shoes, the torn soles, her worn bag. Frowning, he said, "You don't look fine." A bitter smile tugged at her lips. "You don't look like someone who should care." "And yet," he said, eyes softening, "I do." Adrian Matthews had entered her life, a billionaire in Atlanta, a man whose presence could silence a room. But in that moment, he was just a stranger who cared when no one else did. He offered her a ride. She refused, pride stiff in her spine. But when her stomach growled so loudly it embarrassed her, she relented. Leather seats enveloped her as he drove. The scent of cedarwood and something faintly sweet made her feel warmth for the first time in months. They arrived at his penthouse after 20 minutes' drive. Adrian came out and opened her door. She looked at him and the house and nearly refused to enter. Fear whispered that nothing good came free. But his eyes held no games, only concern. He reassured her, "It's okay. Don't be afraid. I am not here to hurt you." The apartment was breathtaking. Floor-to-ceiling windows revealed the glittering city below. Marble floors reflected the chandelier lights like captured stars, and art adorned every wall. Her shoes squeaked on the polished floor. He noticed immediately. "Take them off," he said gently. "My shoes?" "Yes. You've walked long enough in pain. Let me take care of that." He knelt, carefully removing them, brushing against her blistered feet as if they were the most precious thing in the world. Zara's throat tightened. Nobody had ever cared for her like this, not since her mother passed away. Days turned into weeks. Adrian found reasons to keep her around, first for rest, then for help organizing his library, later simply because he wanted her near. Zara teased him relentlessly. When he grumbled about executives, she said, maybe if you didn't look like a walking skyscraper, they wouldn't tremble so much. Adrian laughed deep, full, genuine laughter that made her heart flutter. He watched her when she read her Bible on the balcony, murmuring quiet prayers. She watched him when he loosened his tie, veins standing out in his hands, the kind of power people bowed to, but not her. The attraction simmered like fire under glass. He wanted her, she wanted him. But she was Christian, cautious, innocent, afraid to let her heart leap too far. One evening, after a charity gala where he held her hand like she was the only person in the room, tension snapped. Back at the penthouse, he stood by the window. "You don't know what you do to me," he said quietly, voice low and rough. Zara's chest fluttered. "And you don't know how much you scare me." He crossed the room, cupping her face. "Then let me prove I'll never hurt you." Their first kiss was reverent, careful, full of awe. He carried her to the bedroom, whispering, "I'll make your first time feel like love, not fear." And he did. Patient, tender, full of reverence. When it was over, he held her close, whispering prayers of gratitude into her hair. An hour later, he pulled her close again, slower this time, tender yet passionate. "Zara, I'm madly in love with you," he murmured. "You're mine, and I'll spend my life proving it." Zara cried, not from pain, but from joy beyond words. Later in the day, drama arrived in the form of Adrian's mother, Sister Matthews, formidable deaconess and Atlanta social figure. Adrian came out of the room with a robe and there to greet his mom. While they were talking, noise came from the room. "You have a guest." Sister Matthews asked. "Yes, Mom," Adrian replied. "I have been meaning to tell you about her. Who is she? Who are her parents?" she asked, lips pursed. "She is an orphan, Mom." "Adrian, you cannot do this." Adrian leaned forward, voice firm. "Mother, God sets the lonely in families. Maybe he wants me to give Zara the family she never had." Zara was in front of the room and heard everything. She started packing her few belongings, preparing to leave. Then Adrian entered the room. "Where are you going?" he asked. She bit her lip. "Your mother is right. I'm nothing. You deserve someone better." He tilted her chin. "I want the woman who makes me kneel at night and thank God I didn't miss her." "That's you. If you leave, I'll chase you down barefoot." She laughed through tears. Only Adrian could make heartbreak sound like a vow. Time softened even Sister Matthews. When she fell ill, Zara stayed by her side, reading scripture, cooking meals, praying at 3 a.m. One dawn, Sister Matthews awoke to see Zara asleep in a chair, Bible in lap, hair cascading like a halo. "My child," she whispered. "I judged you by what you don't have instead of who you are. You're my daughter now." From there, became close like mother and daughter. One day, as they sat for breakfast, the security man came to tell them that a lady named Gladys is at the door. Zara's heart sunk. Adrian noticed and held her hand tight enough to reassure her. They both went to the door and saw Gladys stepping out from a rented Mercedes, dripping desperation disguised as finery. "My dear Zara, look at you, living the dream. How can you forget the person who took care of you when no one else was there? You see, after you left, I lost that house and now I am living in a small flat, so I thought now that my Zara is millionaire, she can buy me a house in Atlanta. Two, actually. Your father always wanted me comfortable." Zara laughed. "Gladys, life doesn't roll back to orphans, it rolls over. And right now, it's rolling over you." Adrian added, "Ms. Gladys, might I suggest a mirror? Plenty of work needed there." Gladys gasped, humiliated. Zara rose to influence, running foundations, opening schools, giving testimonies at church. She became powerful, faithful, and loved, not for Adrian's wealth, but for her resilience and heart. Adrian adored her. Sister Matthews cherished her. Gladys faded into irrelevance. The girl in worn-out shoes became the woman whose footsteps left imprints of love, faith, and power across Atlanta. And every time Adrian whispered, "You're mine," Zara whispered back, "I was never anyone else's."